Hey guys, it's the king of corrupted video files here. I just recorded an hour-long video, like not an hour-long video, but recorded straight for an hour and just remaking my first song, and that just completely got corrupted and I'm not going to redo that. So we're gonna do this instead. Another talking head video. Everyone's favorite. That being said though, this is a video that I've been wanting to make for a while now, and that's just, your mix sucks, man. But mine too. I know that hurts to hear, because it hurts me when I hear it, and I hear that sometimes. Generally speaking, the reception of my mixes is that they're pretty good, but myself, I tell myself all the time, there's too much low end, there's muddiness in this area, there's harshness in this area, there's a plethora of different little things that would make this perfect, but it's never perfect no matter how much I tweak it, no matter how much I put soothe on it, no matter how much I sit there and make my EQs look like this, and it just doesn't work. You know, some of us spend hours just tweaking compressors, tweaking EQs, messing with saturation, and while all of that is good stuff to do, at some point you have to kind of just realize it's enough. This is kind of, in a way, a continuation of my last talking head kind of video where I was just saying get your music out, but rather than just say get your music out, this is more of some solutions that I have. This is more just solutions that I've adopted personally and what's helped me actually get to that point where I just say, okay, forget it. This is the mix, release it. So a big thing that stops me from releasing a song when I think it's done is when I'm referencing my tracks, whether it be through my phone speakers, through my AirPods, through my car, my monitors, sometimes it just falls apart. Sometimes the master wasn't as good as I thought it was. Can't hear any clarity in the phone speaker. When you listen in a car, it sounds like this wide. If you've heard it, you know what I mean. And those are genuine reasons to not release a mix. But what is not a legitimate reason to not release a mix? It's kind of a meme at this point, but it is very accurate. I don't know if you've had on your Instagram feed or YouTube Shorts page where it's just like that, like a guy like making a minuscule like change in his mix and ends up not releasing it, but just like staying up late at night making these minor adjustments. And while that is an extreme example, it is still very much true and still something that I struggle with now. I will literally just sit and make 20 guitar tones, switch between all of them and see what I like about one and try to combine them, and I will try to EQ all of the harshness out, and I'll try to do all of this, and then once that's all done, that's already taken a lot of my time. And so when I spend all this extra, honestly meaningless time just adjusting little amounts of something, when it's not really contributing too much to what I want to achieve, that's when I'll say, okay, maybe I'm done. Maybe this needs to stop and I need to move on. There's always that one specific point in my production where I have the sound I love, and then I get kind of sucked into something else. But when I realize that I hit that point and I'm sucked in and I'm just kind of chasing something that I'll never catch, that's when even sometimes I will just undo all of the changes I made and just leave it as is, because that first initial listen that I had that I said that's it, that's the point that you should be considering to stop. And if that's hard to do, which I understand, it is very hard to do, one other thing you can do is once you hit that aha moment where it's like, this is the mix, this is the song, it sounds great, don't touch it again. Just strictly just export it from your DAW, put it on your phone, listen to it throughout your day, throughout your week, just sit on it. When you listen to it often and you're listening to it just to jam, You're not listening to it objectively where it's like, oh, that snare ping is in there, or there's this really weird whistly sound in the guitar that only happens in this section and for this, you stop listening to all of that and you start hearing the big picture. You start hearing, damn, this is a song that I would actually jam. This is a song that I want on my playlist. And then you'll just realize, like, I hit that point and just, it's time to release it. This kind of goes in with my last point of realizing when it's done. My first EP that I have available still on this channel, it's mixed very bad. And I will leave it up just so I can have that point of reference and see my growth. However, that at the time, for whatever reason, was like golden to me. I don't know why. I was probably deaf. But that's the point. I thought it was good, and so I was done with it. I released it. The next release, once I listened to it over the next few months after the release, whatever, I realized the issues. You start to pick up on things that you probably should have done different, or something with some issue that you had, and you can just think clearly because you're not so honed in on every issue. You're just still focusing on that bigger picture that you kind of forced your brain into. And so like it shows just in my examples, because that's all I really have. But from my Black Sheep EP to Scenarios 5 or Scenarios V, whatever you want to call it, that was a massive leap in production. And that was just because I just wanted to start over, make everything as good as I can, used a different approach to my writing and just mixing in general. But that's the thing, like, you don't have those skills or that perspective or that inspiration unless you just put it out and push past that point where you're just stuck. I would have never got to where I am now if I didn't just do that, because while my first EP is mixed horrendously, it made me realize, like, I need to get better. And because of that, I went back to the absolute basics of mixing. And while that is extreme and you don't have to do that, it really does help to just have that forced out so you can look back on it later and see the issue. I would have never gotten as good as I am without doing that. And even still, I have issues with my mixes, but just don't let it stop you from putting something out or doing what you want to do. Not caring about what someone will say or feel or do when they hear something that you created is very hard. Creative work in particular is susceptible is that the word? To this, because I mean, creative work takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. It takes blood, sweat, tears, everything that you have to throw at it. And because of that, and because of all of that effort and time, you think it's amazing, and it probably is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but there's always going to be someone out there that just poops all over it, you know? And it's easy to say, like, oh, I don't care. You know, it's easy to say, I don't care what other people think. I don't care if anyone likes it. This is for me. And like, yeah, great. That's great. But I feel like a lot of people deep down, they really do care. Like for me in particular, I've always said my whole life, like, I don't care what other people think about me. But at the same time, I do. I really care a lot. I'm always looking for some sort of approval or motivation or praise or whatever. But even though I'm saying I don't care, like, I know deep down I care. And while this may not be relatable to a lot of people watching this or even listening, it is a very real thing. And it's a lot easier said than done to just not care. And I've been extraordinarily lucky to have what I've grown on this channel and have so much support, not just YouTube, but Spotify, Discord, my Discord server, whatever it may be. I have it's unreal how nice that support is. But I know for a fact that if I didn't have that support, I would be struggling. And while it is scary and while it is hard because there's no guarantee that it'll be accepted or, you know, beloved by whoever listens to it, it is hard and scary. I felt it. I still feel it. I still struggle to just accept that people aren't being fake to me when they're like, oh dude, that was sick, that like that's like we should use that song for our band, or like I still, like, just from my experiences, I still feel like that's not what they truly feel in a weird way. But everything is showing that it is real. And I'm not saying this to say like, look what I achieved, or look what I did, or look at me. But I'm just saying this because I would have never gotten any of these offers like with my band, or have the community I have anything going for me in terms of music, and I would still be dreaming of it rather than living in my dream if I just didn't put it out there. While this was just three tips, I guess you can call them, that I personally find helpful, I know it's not going to be helpful for everyone, but that's why I'm going to ask if you can, or if you have any suggestions for anybody struggling to just release something that they have, just leave it in the comments if I haven't mentioned it already. Maybe it'll help me, maybe you'll help someone else, maybe, who knows, the next Misha from Periphery can pop up out of literally anywhere. That being said, I think this was a very rambly video. So I'll go ahead and end it here. If you liked the video though, if this provided any value for you, if you want to see any more like philosopher-y kind of content like this, then leave a like, subscribe, let me know if you want to see more, or if you want me to just shut the hell up and get back to mixing. I have a Discord server, as I mentioned. The link is in the description. And if you want to listen to my music, you can scan these bad boys right here. You can check out my band. The video card is going to be at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.